Hi there, Marisa Murray with your executive coaching tip this week. I thought it was kind of getting into that time of year where there's often a little bit of a reflection. For me right now, it's May, and happy May, everybody. And for most people who are on a performance management calendar from January to December, by May, you have a pretty good idea of how it's going against the objectives that were set for you. Your targets are pretty locked down, and you've started to get a feel for how the year is progressing. And this can be a challenging time for some people when they're really looking at what was established for them as goals and the progress against it, because typically things tend to unfold in an unpredictable manner for all of us. And in parallel, there's a lot of talk right now about the revamping of performance management systems, the doing away with the formal rating and ranking structure, and what will that all mean. I thought it would be helpful today to give you a little bit of a perspective on what I think is the best way to guide your performance for yourself throughout the calendar. One of the things that I advise people is to really realize how important it is for them to have their own internal gauge and their own agenda for their year of what they want to accomplish. And this is often very synergistic with what the organization wants to accomplish, but it needs to have your own flavor. And what is not changing for most organizations is the notion of pay for performance. So companies are continually differentiating bonus structures for their employees based on their perception of performance. And even with companies that have adopted the idea of reducing the administrative burden of the rating process, they're not changing the leeway of the salary administration to reward performance, because there's still a belief that bonuses should be paid based on the performance and the value delivered by the individual. So what is shifting is probably just simply the administrative burden of the peer review, moving more back to a manager's discretion. But what's not changing is that it is still someone else's perception of your performance, which means that some years you will agree with them and other years you won't. And this can really impact our motivation. So what I would recommend is that you actually immunize yourself from the negative effects that this can have. And I found the most effective way to do this is to really do a little bit of self-reflection that basically takes the importance of pay for performance off the table for you. So here's how it works. Basically, you understand, obviously, the role that you've taken on. You advocate for the performance and for your accomplishments from the previous year. But as you reflect on your own year, sitting down and really thinking through what are the things that I would be super proud of myself and would basically make pay for performance like a speck on the windshield. What experiences do I want to have? What people do I want to collaborate with? What milestones do I want to close this year? What relationships do I want to build? What dynamic do I want to create? How do I want to influence these things? And really, it's a very internally focused gauge you're trying to develop, where you're identifying things that, regardless of how your performance works out, if you do these things and you work your plan associated with those things, you will be super proud of yourself. And the thing that's really amazing when you do this well in a year, what you'll find is if it's done really well and you are really finding the synergy, those are generally the years where you actually do the best on your performance rating or your pay for performance component, because those are the years when you are the most engaged and enthusiastic and really driven in your work. Highly motivated people achieve amazing results. So this was my tip for this week. Basically, park the pay for performance. Fascinating that the process is changing. But honestly, the best advice is to look internally. What would make you excessively proud? What experiences do you want on this journey? What do you want to be able to brag about in a year? Get that really sharp, start working that plan, and I believe the rest will take care of itself. Hope this helps, and have a great week. Here are the